Hey, it's April with A Possible Diet, and today I'm going to show you how to make reduced carb Milanos. So I made these cookies accidentally. Usually when I am trying to adapt a recipe, I start either with a keto or low carb recipe that I found online or a regular traditional recipe, and then I try to have the ingredients meet in the middle. Sometimes a recipe works great if it's just plain old keto, and someone has already done the testing with the almond flour and the coconut flour and the wheat germ, but sometimes you can get away with replacing a portion of the traditional ingredients with a low carb alternative, and that's what happened here. I was making some Joy of Cookies sugar cookies, and I thought, okay, what if I swap out part of the flour for paleo flour and part of the sugar for smart sugar, which is a Miss Jones Baking Company invention. It is 50% real sugar and I think like 50% chicory root fiber. So it's kind of like a low sugar alternative that tastes just like sugar. It's reduced calories. So it's not sugar free, it's not erythritol, it's not, chemicals, but some people like that. And I'm using Bob's Red Mill Paleo baking flour, which is a baking blend. This does have real unbleached white flour in it, so it's not gluten-free, and it's certainly not low carb, but it is reduced carb. So if you are trying to just cut back on your sugar intake and you need something sweet, these are a great alternative. They're a really, really simple cookie, and they taste like Milanos, of all things. They kind of have like this weird ladyfinger texture. So to make this cookie, I start with a stick of regular butter. And then when I was making this recipe originally, I ran out of regular butter and I had to use half plant butter, and it gave me a great result. I'm using Earth Balance today, but I haven't switched it since then, so I don't know if this recipe even works with all butter. But basically what you want to do, So what you want to do is blend these two butters together until they are light and fluffy. Just make sure that they are fully mixed together. Once they're all one color, go ahead and add your sugar. A lot of these sugar substitutes are very fluffy, so there's like a cloud that comes up when you dump them in. You don't have to mix these up so much. You just want it to be blended. Then you want to go ahead and add a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. I'm a little generous with my almond extract, so that might be like 1/4 and a half. And then a full teaspoon of vanilla. And then you can add another 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla here if you want. I add this vanilla paste that I got at TJ Maxx. Anytime they have vanilla paste at TJ Maxx, I always buy it up because it is so expensive online. So go ahead and add a tablespoon of that, or sorry, a teaspoon of that. And then 1 large egg. I think when I was trying to make this, I was actually trying to make some kind of like an almond tea cookie shortbread. And I made them and I was like, dang, these taste like Milanos. I should sandwich some chocolate in the middle of these. And I dip them in chocolate. I don't sandwich them. So they're almost kind of like a dipped Madeleine. And you can omit the chocolate if you don't like chocolate, or use white chocolate if you don't like dark chocolate. And then once that is all blended, go ahead and add your paleo flour. Your regular unbleached flour. It's going to be a cup and a half of regular flour and a half a cup plus a third of a cup. I know those measurements are super weird. Of the paleo flour. And I use, again, the Bob's Red Mill brand. I haven't tried this with other brands, so I'm not sure if it's, I'm not sure if it's like, if it would work without it. So you want to do a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And then 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I just kind of eyeballed this. That's about right. It smells so good. It smells like sugar cookie dough. And once this is all mixed, we're going to go ahead and put it in the fridge. I'll show you a trick. Okay, so once that's all mixed together, I'm going to show you how to spread this out so it can cool in the fridge, and then we're going to cut it and bake it. So this is my trick for sugar cookies, even regular sugar cookies, when you're getting ready to make them for the holidays. You can totally take this and like wrap it in a tube and then just make them like slice and bake cookies. But for these, I like to get a piece of Saran Wrap on top of a cutting board and just spread it out. And then put this in the fridge, put another piece of Saran Wrap on top of it, and put this into the fridge to chill. And that'll ensure that you have a nice thin sheet ready. And you can go over it with a rolling pin to make it like perfectly smooth and thin too as well. Put your other piece of Saran Wrap over the top. Then you want to get a rolling pin and just smooth it out. You can make these as thick or as thin as you want. They don't spread that much in the oven. Okay, so it's not perfect, but It's okay, it doesn't really have to be. Go ahead and take this and refrigerate it for at least an hour. You want it to be firm when you take them out of the oven. There you go. Okay, so our dough is chilled, and now we're gonna cut out our Milanos. For these cookies, I use just a brown biscuit cutter, but you know, you can use any small cutter. I don't recommend making these with a big cutter. You wanna chill them for much longer if for some reason you wanna use a big cutter. A little trick for sugar cookies. Once the dough is chilled, take the top layer of Saran Wrap off. And you can use wax paper if you have it. I just don't have any now. Instead of Saran Wrap if you like. And then flip it over. It makes it less sticky on the bottom. It's just my toaster oven heating up. And voila. Cut your rounds out. And the dough just has to be cool. It doesn't have to be hard. You can certainly keep it in the fridge longer or overnight if you want to. But I find that they bake fine, you know, with like an hour chilling. My cookies are about that thick. They do not spread that much, so. All right, pop these in the oven. And you want to bake them for about 11 minutes. I've got our baked Milanos, Faux Milanos here. They're pretty good. And I am going to just dip them in this Chalk Zero melted chocolate. So that they're kind of like a half moon. Just like that, and then let them cool. You can also make sandwiches out of them by putting the chocolate in the middle, if you like. I find that when I make sandwiches, I forget that I'm eating 2 cookies. So, if you do go for this option, proceed with caution. And there you have it, a Faux Milano. You can also do like a Brussels thing where you spread chocolate on one side of it and then you can put chopped nuts. I like toasted pecans or toasted walnuts on top of it. Or I have my coconutty mix, which is basically half toasted almonds and half toasted coconut, and do something like that. But yeah, these are our Faux Milanos, and it's really as close as I'll get to a Milano these days. So enjoy.